The number one stressor for couples? Guest count. Missed RSVPs and tight deadlines can derail your timeline fast.
It's about knowing what my vendor partners need. I tell my couples that all the time. Have your RSVP due date due maybe a few weeks before your final count. So if things change, you have a buffer.
Learn how experienced planners help reduce the chaos before it even starts.
Stress is bad for them. It's bad for us because we aren't able to get the right information to give them the best product back.
Yeah.
And so using that stress all around is very important.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that we understand at Caribbean Caterers is that having a coordinator is not just reducing the stress for the client, which is very important.
Yeah.
But then that translates into how you relate to all of your vendors and how you get things done, and that you actually are enjoying this journey as a couple,
Right.
that you as a couple making all of these big decisions probably for the first time together and going through all of those moments. It's relieving this stress in so many areas for everyone involved.
And something you said, sorry, I was going to say something you said about like the vendors piece, like being a planner and having worked with so many different vendors and having worked with your team as well, I kind of know like what you all need or what you all expect. And I can anticipate like, okay, Miss Jillian's going to need the final count in a couple weeks. 2 months ago, I'm already making sure that I'm lining things up so that we can get that to you well in advance. And it's about knowing what my vendor partners need. So then I can go to my clients and say, hey, your venue RSVP count is going to be due. Let's push this back a few weeks. So that way, if things change, I tell my couples that all the time, have your RSVP due date due maybe a few weeks before your final count. So if things change, you have a buffer.
Yes.
So it's about knowing all of those pieces and then being able to talk to the clients about what their options are.
Fantastic. That is so great, because what I hear you say is something that we are so focused on with Caribbean Caterers. Like, for instance, the guest count, which seems to be one of the biggest stressors for most couples in getting their RSVPs back, even knowing who to invite and who they can't invite, even though they would like to invite because of constraints of the space, of the budget, of the whatever it might be. And so one of the things we do, as you well know, is that we give them a minimum guest count and a final. We give them that minimum guest count in a time when they have their RSVPs coming back, and they still have another 2 weeks to give us that final guest count. So everybody's stress goes all the way down because we have time to slide in there and get things done without getting overwhelmed. So I totally appreciate that about our approach. Yeah. And knowing how much work we depend on you for as a planner, it is just refreshing to hear that you are not dumping all of this on your client, that they are able to piecemeal and just very almost effortlessly, I hope, just come through this process and get everything done that they need to get done, even though it's so numerous.